We need to talk about Star Trek. God, I need to talk about Star Trek this week. Leave a message in the comments if you need to talk about Star Trek this week. Yeah, we need to talk. Let's check we're firing on all thrusters, shall we? Let's have a little look, see if anyone's around. Okay, yeah, we're on Twitter. Guessing we're on Facebook. I mean, we usually are.
I just got an announcement to say we're there.
Yeah. Hey, and we're on the YouTube, I think. Look, it says live. It's just circling. Hopefully that's okay.
Yeah.
Ping, ping, ping.
Oh, who's it? Oh, we got Nadim. Hi, Nadim. We got Gary. Gary, we knew you'd be joining us. In fact, I saw we had one person waiting on YouTube. I thought, I bet that's Gary.
Aww.
Yeah. When we get like, you know, some views on YouTube, I bet they're all Gary. Hi, Julian, and hello, Christoph, and hello, Jay. Oh, it's lovely to see you all. Thanks for joining us. Let's get going, shall we? Let's talk about Star Trek. Hey. So we had such an exciting week last week, didn't we? It was like bam, 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 full of Star Trek news.
We ran out of time to talk about all the stuff.
I know. Time. Don't talk to me about time. We don't have time. Yeah, we did. So we had lots to cover last week. So we had the treat, which was First Contact Day, full of gems, and we ran out. We wanted to talk about the Lower Decks final because we've been doing the watch of Lower Decks and reviews. So we got that to talk about tonight. Lower Decks trailer, and we've got Mission Chicago to talk about. Hi, Jeff. And Felix. Jeff says that Felix Trekkie from Buck Rogers died today. Oh, that's very sad to hear that.
Okay.
They all move. Yeah. So we
Stuart, that's a very nice thing for you to say. Stuart says he's admired our channel for ages. Keep up the great work.
Aww.
Oh, thank you, Stuart. That's very sweet of you.
Somebody loves our rambling. There's Mark. Is that Mark from Sons of Kirk? I think.
Where?
Mark Rivera.
Oh, hello, Mark. Yes. Hi. Sons of Kirk. Yes. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, so we're going to talk about all those things today and more. Speaking of people dying, it's also Chris has brought to our attention that sadly Robert Fletcher, who created the Monster Maroons, the really nice Starfleet uniforms that we're very lucky to have had made for us, has passed away. So we're really sad to hear that. His uniforms, of course, are renowned in Star Trek. We have big meetups at the Vegas conventions where we all wear them, and we're really sad. But thank you for letting us know that, Christoph, because we hadn't heard that. And he was
truly iconic.
Yeah. And Star Trek's so lucky to have some really fantastic uniform designs at the moment.
So many to choose from now as well. Just like,
gosh, I think my favourite, hands down. Oh, she's amazing.
Amazing.
I don't know. How does she keep doing it? You know, every day. Like, that's had the most time. Yeah, they've had the most Starfleet uniform changes of time. I mean, it can sometimes be 2 a season.
I can just imagine Sam watching like them. Okay, right, how easy is that to make? Where's that stitching go? Like,
Well, we got Liam on the chat now. Liam will know that's way above my ability. What Gersha does, I mean, that's not even fabric, man. That's like molded plastic and stuff. It's
the Discovery Mirror Universe ones. When you see them as well, because of course we saw them at Vegas, and Michelle Yeoh's is like, oh my god, tiny doll size.
But the detail on every little bit of it, you're just like, you know, the emblems down the boots and stuff. You're just like,
I really want to. I like my lockdown goal was to boost my cosplay skills. I've done nothing. I made that little sample a few weeks ago. The Mirror Universe sash, nothing. That doesn't make sense. So,
Stuart,
I've got to try harder.
haven't finished DS9 yet, but we're saving that for, you know, the like our little filler in between the big exciting Star Trek news. We'll come back to DS9.
I've just started again because I couldn't wait. I've just gone on it.
You'll catch back up with me. It'd be fun.
Yeah. By the time I decided to restart Deep Space Nine, we would have gone through it twice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Lower Decks, shall we? So let's talk about the final episode and No Small Parts. That was Star Trek on steroids. That whole episode.
So good.
I was not prepared for it to be quite as it wasn't serious, but there were serious bits in it, and I was like really quite shocked by it. I was like, "What? Somebody actually like died?" Like,
yeah,
I know.
Like, I was kind of like taken aback by the seriousness of it all of a sudden. Like, oh, they're actually like, you know, they're doing Star Trek stuff. Like, oh, yeah. But obviously, then you had Troy and Riker, and it was like that, like, kind of balance, you know. But yeah, I was not prepared for the death. I was a bit sad about that.
Shucks. What the shack?
What the? Indeed. I was just, yeah.
I was surprised too. Actually, it was heart wrenching in places.
And yeah, what's the guy, the half robot's name?
Rutherford.
Like, he's got his implant ripped out of his face, like, and you see the blood, and you're like,
yeah,
it's I know. What's going on?
And the exocomp, of course, goes. I mean, how excited were we to see the exocomp return? And then Peanut Hamper. It's not even a good name. I love it. At the end, we're done with Peanut. You know. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I love the opening part of it as well with Landru, and we got to see Kirk and Spock. Oh God, and Liam's just said, actually, I've just seen here, have you ever watched the animated series? I have, Liam, actually. I quite like the animated series. I've watched some more than others, so I haven't watched it as much as other Star Trek. So it's like TNG, I have photographic memory of every line, whereas TAS and TOS, I'm not as sharp on it. But yeah, seeing the animated series image of Kirk and Spock there when they brought up those old scientists was, and I love the way Captain Freeman deals with it.
And
hi Rashid. Hi.
The lieutenant calls it TOS. They're like, what? Like, and he has a version of TOS.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so cleverly done. Like, so cleverly done, because it's a bit of a piss take, but like in a respectful way. It's done. You can tell it's written by Trekkie still. I really think it's
definitely
cleverly done. Really, really
good. It's done with love, a loving tribute.
Definitely.
So what were the bad? Was it the Pack? Did Julian say Packdale?
Packlids.
We met them before. Packlids.
Yes, they were in TNG. They're the ones who look for things to make us go. They're kind of the stupid alien.
Yeah.
And that
so it was kind of
I found that bit really interesting. I think my internet's a bit bad today. I found it really interesting where they were like, you know, that's what staff estimates sometimes, you know, like they just kind of wrote them off as, oh, they're nothing to know, they won't evolve yet, and like, what happens? And at the end, her mum kind of almost like to look at these things, and I'm like intrigued by it, and I'm thinking maybe the second season of Lower Decks might be a bit more, you know, it's still going to be funny, but just like have a bit more kind of direction.
Definitely. Actually, there was a good tweet from Jack Quaid, who plays Lieutenant Boimler, plays Ensign Boimler, saying that if he goes to the convention next year, he will dye his hair purple.
I can't wait. I really want that.
I know.
Everyone said they'd come in uniform. I'm like,
and then Tanda Newton, who plays Marinette, came down and said, so will I. And then I said, we're going to go as the crew as the Solvang. because it was so funny because I watched the episode and it was the same week I got my new carpets put in the house. So I was feeling Captain Dayton there, like,
yeah,
you will,
take your shoes off,
you will
take your shoes off.
take your shoes off and you'll wear your socks. Yeah, so I thought we could go as the crew of the Solvang and
Nice.
wear just our socks. And I love the city of Solvang as well. I don't know if anyone has been there in the comments, but it's a really mental place. It's really funny. So, yeah, do go to Solvang if you get the chance. It's funny. I ran in there by accident once and it was a very happy accident.
Obviously, we have to talk about the Titan. Like Riker and Troy coming in.
I know, how good was it to see Riker and Troy? I mean, I squealed a little bit the first time I watched that episode. I literally squealed. Well, no, that's not fair. The first time I heard about it, I swore like Rios, you know, just
I cannot believe
because I saw it on Twitter of all places. You know, there was
when I watched it, I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe that didn't get spoiled. I was so excited.
Yeah.
Really, I got it spoiled. That was quite well spoiled for me. But actually, I don't know if I believed it as well. I think the first time I didn't believe it, I saw it and thought, and then I kept seeing it all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes.
2020 was the year Riker came to save the day at the end. Like, turns up in a ship in Picard, turns up in a ship in Lower Decks.
Love how he acknowledges Enterprise, the final.
Same here.
Oh, he went there.
He went there.
Best way to deal with it, just make a joke about it. And yeah, when he went there, he said he'd been on the holodeck with the old Enterprise crew. That was just brilliant. And singing along to Faith of the Heart. Yeah, it was great to see Troy Riker. And of course, Boimler at the end ends up there.
He does. So maybe more of them next season.
Well, yeah, according to the trailer, which we can just slide on into the trailer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see Boimler on the Titan, not looking like he's having a great time, to be fair.
No,
but
he doesn't look like he's enjoying it very much.
No, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Like, how long is he going to? Because he can't be on the. I don't think he'll be on there more than an episode or so.
No, I don't think so either. But yeah.
I wonder whether it would be like on Enterprise when you had the Enterprise and was it the Columbus, sort of side by side on a bit of a mission. You sort of jump between Trip being on the one ship and then it would jump back to Enterprise. I wonder whether it might be like that. Maybe Riker and Troy are going to stick around a bit. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Interesting. Other things from the was it me or does the Titan doesn't Riker have a Kelpian first officer? Did he look Kelpian? Was he Kelpian?
Yeah.
Help me out here.
Yeah.
I thought he looked Kelpian.
Yeah. Yeah. All I really remember is the bit with the rainbows shooting out of someone's arm. That was like the bit that flying and the rain and like what is going on there? I just want to know.
Yeah, Commander Ransom. Yep.
Yeah.
Got some nice rainbows. I like that bit too. I
really want Riker and Ransom to have some more screen time together, like, time together, because
yes,
it's a beard off, surely.
Quite like them to get it on, to be honest. Not for Troy's sake, but there's so much testosterone there, it's going to happen. Yeah, and I also noticed there's this one scene you see with Marinette in the trailer where she's wearing I don't remember what the name of the sport is, but there's basically the combat sport that Riker battles with his dad, which is quite interesting. I'm like, oh, is Marinette going to take on Kyle Riker? Riker's dad.
She did not seem happy that he'd got transferred to the Titan, did she?
No.
Is anyone feeling a little bit of tension there?
Oh, do you think there's a bit of romance between them?
I don't know. I can't work it out. Sometimes I think so. Like sometimes I used to think maybe on his behalf, but then I'm like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, I've often thought maybe from her part, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I think.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. it's at the moment it's a real strong friendship,
Mm.
and I don't know, but it could happen, it could not. I don't mind either way, really.
No.
Yeah. Oh, there's an interesting discussion here. Julian says, I would love to see B4 in Lower Decks, especially with Brent Spiner. Wonderful track record of comedy. Yeah, actually, Brent does do comedy really well, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
And Christoph's replying, saying, Rutherford could somehow use B4 as a replacement for the lost bionic plants and could end up with a split personality rather than B4. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just sidetrack completely?
Yeah.
I read on the internet today, which I thought, it was a fan theory. And it was really interesting. I can't even remember where I read it. It was some Facebook group. And it was basically saying that, and this is completely unrelated to anything we've been talking about today, that the Borg are not interested in assimilating humanity, but we're mining us for technological advancement, because every time they try to assimilate us, we get stronger. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was, and then I started thinking about it more, and it makes sense, because the Borg aren't capable of learning. They can only conquer information. They can't develop it further, allegedly. And I thought, actually, yeah, that would be a good way to keep us somewhat alive, so we can come up with better techniques, and they could just keep harvesting that information from us, which makes sense. Why didn't they ever come back in First Contact and try it again? If they wanted to get humanity, they could. So I just saw that. It was not my own idea. I read that on the internet. I thought it was
we love a fan theory.
I wonder if in Picard, when that thing starts to come through. Yes. I'm wondering, and that the big enemy, wasn't it? They called the big enemy. I can't remember now. I have to rewatch it. But I'm wondering if there's some connection, because it all seems to be kind of like an artificial intelligence kind of evil. So you've got the Borg, and you've got Control. What was the one Discovery?
Control.
That's it. Yeah, Control. And then you've got this thing in Picard, and you're I wonder if it's building towards something bigger. And it's there's loads of films, aren't they, about the robot, iRobot, where the robots become sentient, and then and the Borg sort of. Well, the Borg Queen is, I suppose. The drones aren't so much, but I just wonder if there's some sort of connection there.
Do you think it's all of them merged into one amazing enemy?
Yeah, way in the future, or maybe they're all branches of the same history. I don't know.
It would make sense, wouldn't it? Because
Control is way in the past. So how where did the Borg originate from?
In the future.
Yeah, where did the Borg come from?
Exactly.
Computer parts don't just join together. Someone has to have created that first Borg.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's just something weird about it all, and
I've always thought, I'm gonna go off topic as well.
Daughter and stuff. It's just all weird. Sorry, Carol.
Go off topic as well. I always thought the origin of the Borg was sort of like the origin of the Daleks. So the Daleks were created to they empowered people, so they took their humanity away, but they sort of slowly weaponized them, protect them from invasion and attack and disease, and so all these things. And that's how it starts. It starts off quite small, and then the big steps happen where eventually they lose their humanity and they become these mindless killing robots with the exterminate, but for the Borg it's assimilate.
I think we could also tie in Q here as well. Q back. Q, I still think Q all along to save humanity by introducing the Enterprise to the Borg. Q's always had a thing. The whole Borg exists because, not that it exists, but they're on humanity's radar because of Q. So Q's coming back, and I think there might be something in that in all this AI, the Borg. I think they might. I
There are no coincidences in Star Trek.
They make up these connections, you know, they write them in. It's great. Oh yes, James, you're right. The Star Trek Destiny trilogy tells you where the Borg started and end up. That is true, actually. I read those series a long time ago. I'm going to reread those because they're really good. Actually, they do. It's sort of not really coming to my mind right now, but and of course that all links in with Enterprise and the capture of Columbus. It's so funny. Yeah. It is always Q. You're right. Hello, Terry. Yes, so let's quickly move on. Just one last thing I remembered in Lower Decks, the Spock helmet. So there was I don't know if you saw it. There was like this random scene, all this stuff, and there's I think it was the Contraband scene, and there's this Spock helmet which goes back to this. Oh gosh, it was years ago, like back in the 60s. I think it was an example of like NAF merchandise that they'd licensed in Star Trek's name, and it was a Spock helmet. It was this awful white, well, it's in the episode, this white thing with a red light on it. Nothing to do with Star Trek, nothing to do with Spock, completely ludicrous. And now, of course, it's canon. They've actually made it relevant. That's great. That's time travel for you.
Like, how much contraband do you have hidden on my ship? Like,
I remember, I think it might have been the Toys That Made You. They talk a little about how there's all these sort of really random toys that come out that don't connect to the series. And like in one of the like artwork for it is like Spock shooting a snake. You're just like, in what world would Spock be shooting a snake? Come on, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, there's just
amazing. Okay, then, shall we move on to the announcement they had about the Star Trek convention? We'd heard a long time ago, hadn't we? It came out a while ago that Star Trek Las Vegas had lost the CBS license, and they'll be carrying on regardless, doing conventions as they're entitled to do, but it can no longer bear the Star Trek name. And they announced last Monday on the First Contact Day that there will be a convention next April to kind of coincide with First Contact Day. I think it's a little bit after, in Chicago. Which so what were your reactions to that?
Very exciting.
Yeah, I like the idea that it's a traveling event, so we get to go to different places, try out different bars.
Yeah.
And it might open it up to a whole new audience who maybe couldn't travel out to Vegas but can get to Chicago. I love the idea of one in New York and all that sort of stuff. You know, I kind of like it.
Definitely. I do. I like it too. I have mixed feelings on it. I've got to admit, going back to last week, I had my reaction on Janeway, which was at first a little bit sad, and then I thought about it and I sort of cheered up about it.
Yeah.
I've kind of got the opposite with Chicago. I kind of my first thought was really excited, like, yes, this is the best news ever. I've always wanted to go to Chicago. I really wanted to go to Chicago. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, I started feeling a little bit sadder about it. I really wanted to go, but because I was reading other people's comments. Like, I like the idea of a new city. I like the idea of doing something new. But for a lot of people and a lot of Star Trek fans who have anxiety, actually getting into a routine, like, there is something to be said about, and we feel this with Destination Star Trek sometimes. You just want to know when one convention finishes, you can start planning the next one. And when there's that uncertainty about where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, it's hard to kind of plan. Like, we know that if there's a party in the Docklands, whatever it's called, the Docklands in Excel, we know which hotel is the best for walking in our silly shoes. But when you're someone new, you've got to start thinking that whole process all again. There's something nice about getting off the plane in Vegas. You know exactly where your hotel is. You know exactly if the taxi driver's trying to take you on a ride, taking you down the I-45 or whatever it's called. you know where the Walmart is. You've already got all the things programmed into your phone where you're going to eat dinner every day. So while I like the idea of something new, I also kind of with conventions, it's nice to know where you're at. That's it. I like both ideas, so it would be nice if you could do a bit of both, really. Like, I like the idea of traveling around America, and I think Americans, no offense to Americans, but they're a bit more, they like to stay where they, I don't think, a lot of Americans like to stay where they are. You don't get a lot of Americans in Europe. You get a lot of Europeans in America, don't you? So it might be good for Americans, you know, to have that traveling a lot. They'll be able to cover a lot more of the population. So yeah, I think
with Vegas, there's also a history. You know, it's a long-established convention. Everyone's got stories of how they met their partners, met their best friends. You know, they all meet at this bar, like the Masquerade Bar. You know, there's a history and a, you know, that's a bit sad that might not happen anymore. But
I mean, Vegas will go well, I'm sure, but it won't be the same without it being especially with Star Trek being in production at the moment. There's news. Those will only go to the big events. And I think Vegas might become a bit like the conventions of the past, where you go, you reminisce, you know, you meet up.
And it's kind of sad because obviously Vegas got the big Picard announcement. You know, it got, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there won't be any more big announcements. You know, it might be that, you know, they've still got some big guests. I mean, they've got Sonequa going. You never know, they might get someone to accidentally slip up and break an NDA on the stage.
Well, I mean, they might be a filtered down, like they don't get a big leak, they get a little leak.
Maybe a little one, you know. The cat is getting a friend. But yeah, I mean, I really would like to do Chicago. I would really like to give it a go, actually. I want to do the cruise more, if I'm honest. I really want to do the cruise. But they're so damn expensive, aren't they? No, that's the only problem. I use Virgin Atlantic because I have air miles. There's no flights to Chicago, so I'd have to pay full price for a flight. So that's like, there's like Miami, I can get flights to. So you know the cruise is looking a little bit easier, but it would. But I still really want to go to Chicago. So and being on the east side of the country, it's a bit quicker. So that's nice. Yeah, and they've announced Will Wheaton, so that's cool.
Yeah, they did announce Will Wheaton, so that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, I did my homework. I watched the Picard and John Delancey interview with Will Wheaton. I did my homework.
Oh, cool.
Did you? It was good, wasn't it?
It was very good.
Really good.
Will Wheaton looks like the ultimate like Star Trek geek, doesn't he? He's so excited. He's like, oh.
You know what? There was something the other day. It was like, who would play you in your biography? Which we've done things like that before. But I was thinking about which Star Trek characters would play us in our. Yeah, so I thought Carol would obviously be Dr. Jurati's actress. Yeah. I thought Sarah would be Ro Laren, Michelle Forbes, and I thought only Will Wheaton could play me. Only he could have my enthusiasm for Star Trek, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Put him in a blonde wig, it's done.
Yeah, look just like me. Alison Pill. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Trevor, I like your idea of having some background music. I love it. One quick last thing before we go. Randomly today, and I'm not going to tell you how I found this out, but I found an article with Patrick Stewart in Playboy magazine. So I'll leave that.
Hi.
Have you been going through Neil's things in the loft?
Actually, Neil told me, my husband told me, he went, oh, there's an interview here with Patrick Stewart. I'm like, where? Playboy. Like, I don't even have a magazine these days, you know. I was like, okay.
Was
it not Trekkies of the Playboy Mansion? It's got to be a thing.
No, you know what?
You didn't go.
I did watch. I was watching Girls on the Playboy Mansion the other day. I really love that show, and I'm reverting back to early noughties TV at the moment. I was watching it on YouTube, and I did see Jerry O'Connell at a party in the Playboy Mansion. Exclusive here. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I was like,
OMG.
on ransom at the Playboy. Of course he's at the Playboy Mansion.
Of course.
Anyway, guys, that's our entertainment tonight version of the 24. Oh dear, righty guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. It was a pleasure to have you all, and thanks for contributing and joining in. And we'll see you all next week. Take care, guys. Bye.
Girls,
Tricky girls. It's for you, Jane.